Sungmin, you hit the floor hard. His backpack split open, books scattering across the hallway, and Brett Calloway stood over him laughing so loud the whole corridor stopped to watch. Watch where you're going, exchange kid. Brett looked around at his friends. Maybe they don't have floors in Korea. The laughter hit like a wave. Sungmin got up slowly, picking up his books one by one, keeping his eyes down. He wanted to say something. He had the feelings, but not the words fast enough, and that gap between what he felt and what he could say out loud was the most painful place he had ever lived in. That was when Damon Carter pushed through the crowd. She was 19, tall, and moved like someone who had never been afraid of a single room she walked into. She stepped right between Sungmin and Brett without hesitating and looked Brett dead in the eyes. Pick up his books. Brett smirked. Excuse me. You heard me. She did not raise her voice. She did not need to. Something in Brett shifted. He looked at his friends, looked back at Damon, and for one long uncomfortable second nobody moved. Then Brett laughed it off, stepped around her, and walked away. His friends followed. The crowd melted. Damon bent down and picked up the last 2 books herself. She handed them to Sungmin and looked at him properly for the first time. He was staring at her like he was trying to figure out if she was real. Damon, she said. Sungmin, he replied quietly. Thank you. She nodded once. Don't thank me. Just walk with your head up from now on. If you are new here, subscribe right now because this story is just getting started and you will not want to miss what comes next. Those first weeks, Sungmin and Damon found each other in small ways. Lunch together. Walking the same direction after school. Short text messages at night that slowly became long ones. She sent voice notes sometimes and he listened to each one twice. Once for the words. Once for her. But Brett was not finished. He started spreading rumors that Sungmin had faked his transcripts to get into Westbrook High. That his Korean grades meant nothing here. That the school only took him to fill a number. The rumors moved fast and without facts the way rumors always do until even students who had never spoken to Brett were repeating them in the hallways. Sungmin found out when a girl in his chemistry class leaned over and whispered, "Is it true you lied about your grades to get in?" He looked at her. No. Just that one word. Clear and firm. But her uncertain face stayed with him all day. That uncertainty hurt more than Brett's open cruelty ever had because she was not mean. She had just heard something and almost believed it. And if she almost believed it, then how many others did too? He told Damon after school. They stood in the hallway and she listened to every word. Then she said, "He is scared of you." Sungmin shook his head. "He does not even know me." Exactly, Damon said. "You are already outperforming half his friend group and he sees it." Scared people make up stories, Sung. Because the truth is not working for them. What do I do? She looked at him steady and sure. You make the rumors irrelevant. You become so undeniable that nobody can question you with a straight face. That night Sungmin sat at his desk and made a decision. He lined up every textbook. Chemistry. Calculus. Physics. English literature. He made an hourly schedule on a fresh page. He thought about his mother back in Seoul, about her voice on their Sunday calls, about everything she sacrificed to get him here. Then he opened the first page and started studying. Not for Brett. Not even for the grades. For himself. If you are still watching, drop a comment right now and tell us where you are from. People are reading this story from all over the world, and we love seeing you in the comments. Weeks passed and Sungmin became a different version of himself. His English sharpened. His confidence grew quietly the way real confidence always grows, not loud, not sudden, just solid. The school librarian, Ms. Rhodes, noticed and one evening slid a flyer across the table to him. Regional Academic Excellence Competition. Open to seniors. 12 university scholarship programs attached to the winner. Sungmin looked at the flyer. Then at her. My English is better than you think, she said firmly. Enter. He took the flyer home and on their Sunday call told his mother everything. The bullying. The rumors. Damon. Ms. Rhodes. The competition. His mother was quiet. Then she said in Korean, a tree does not apologize for growing tall. You grow, Sungmin. As tall as you can reach. He registered the next morning. When Damon found out, she grabbed both his arms and shook him with a huge smile. Now we get to work. Every Saturday, she showed up at his door with water, snacks, and zero patience for self-doubt. She drilled him on comprehension passages and timed his answers. When he went too slow, she pushed him. When he doubted himself, she shut it down fast. In return, he taught her calculus, and in those hours, something between them grew without either of them naming it. Then Brett made his worst move yet. Damon overheard two girls near the lockers saying Brett was planning to get into the school registration system and tamper with Sungmin's competition entry. She did not wait. She called Sungmin immediately. Walk back to school. We need Miss Rhodes right now. His voice on the phone was quiet. What happened? Brett might be trying to destroy your entry. I just heard something and I am not sitting on it. 3 seconds of silence. Then I am coming. Ms. Rhodes listened to everything without interrupting. When Damon finished, she stood up, smoothed her jacket, and said, I am going to the principal right now. Both of you go home. Do not confront Brett. Let me handle this. Sungmin said softly, I just want to compete, Ms. Rhodes. She looked at him with something firm and kind at the same time. And you will. She kept that promise. By Monday, Brett had been called into Principal Warren's office. He walked out 40 minutes later looking pale and small, his smirk completely gone. The competition entry was safe. Like this video right now if this story is hitting different, because the ending is something you will not see coming. Competition day arrived cold and bright. Sungmin walked into that hall with his head up. Damon was in the waiting area outside, sitting straight, hands in her lap, looking like someone who had already decided how this was going to end. The competition was 3 hours long. Every section: English comprehension, mathematics, science, general knowledge. Sungmin moved through each one like someone who had been preparing not just for weeks, but for his entire life. Because in a way he had. When the results were announced 2 weeks later, Sungmin was standing in the school courtyard when Ms. Rhodes came out with a sheet of paper and a smile that told him everything before she said a single word. First place. 12 scholarship offers came within a month. MIT, Stanford, Johns Hopkins. Schools that students at Westbrook spent years dreaming about. Sungmin's name was on every letter. At graduation, he stood at the podium as the top student in the entire school. Brett sat somewhere in the crowd looking at the floor. Sungmin looked out at everyone. Found Damon's face in the second row and felt something settle in his chest. He spoke in clear, confident, beautiful English. I was told my accent meant I did not belong here. But intelligence has no accent. Strength has no passport. And love, he paused and his eyes stayed on Damon. Love has no border. Damon pressed her hand to her mouth. Her eyes were full. After the ceremony, she found him outside. They stood facing each other in the afternoon light and she said, I told you. He smiled. You did. You were always enough, Sung. You just needed time to show them. He looked at her for a long moment. Then he said quietly, no. I needed you. Subscribe for more stories that remind you that where you come from is never a limitation. Comment where you are watching from and share this with someone who needs to hear it today.